Happy Friday, guys. It's a pretty day. It's supposed to be like 88, so yay. So today, the word that I got was not just open your mouth, but open your eyes. Open your eyes, really big. I was studying along with Adam and Eve in the garden, and how Eve sinned and ate the apple, in which God told her not to eat, of all things, not to eat that. And she did anyway. And, it kind of all just fell back on her. And then, blame game, she made me do it, basically, kind of thing. But the study and the podcast that I had watched was once again with Sarah Jake Roberts, was Open Your Eyes. That was the title. But, well, no, it wasn't Open Your Eyes. It was, I'm not sure. Oh, you have nothing to lose, I think. So as we've talked on my videos, I've talked about opening your mouth, shutting down the voices that you hear, the voices that you tell yourself, the voices that you hear from other people, so that you can hear God's voice. Okay, so if your voices are shut down and you're hearing from the Lord, He wants you to open your eyes. He wants you to see what plans He has for you. Okay, so you may have done things and sinned, but He can use that. And I think I have shared that revelation before, is that you are not taken out of the ball game because that you sinned and you made a mistake and you did all of these things. That does not shut you down. That's what the lies of the enemy wants you to think, is you're not worthy to do anything greater. But God has another plan for that, and He just wants you to know who you are in Him, because all of that can just be flipped to be very, very powerful. And I'm just going to read from my notes right now, because it's just really powerful what I got. It says, you're the woman for the job. Okay, so if you get something in your head, like, oh, that needs to be done, or I just really hate that happens, and I wish there was something out there for this. And so in your head, you're coming up with all of these things. You have this thing about injustice. One of the things that I'm so passionate about is women who think that their lives are over. I want to share a scream from the rooftops. It's not over. It's just starting. It's just starting. You have no clue. Your best life is yet to come if you know who God created you to be. So when you find out that truth, who you are in Christ, that is like a superpower, ladies. God can use that greatly. So, you might not feel qualified, but God, all of the things that He put in on the inside of you, and your experiences and your walk, that qualifies you for having a voice, which is what I shared before. If you believe that God doesn't make mistakes, because He doesn't, He's perfect, then He's called you. I mean, He knows you're going to be where you are, and He doesn't make a mistake about that. So He also knows that you can overcome that situation, and or He wouldn't have put you in that position, or allowed you to be put in that position. And an argument might be, well, I can't do it. But you can. You can't do it alone. You have to do it with Him, but you can do it. You just have to have faith, and you have to have blind faith. You just have to take the step, and that's the hard part, is just having blind faith, because you don't know the future. You don't know what you're walking into. You're walking blindly into something. if God would have told me, Karen, go do this, and shown me, like, I think one of the reasons he doesn't show us is, one, we might say, I don't want to go there. If I have to go through that, I am not going. And then another reason, if he shows us all the answers and shows us the outcome of what the potential is to be, then we no longer have to rely on him. Because, like, I blindly got up and followed. I didn't know where it was going to lead. I just knew I had to go. And I think that's the choice, is when you know and when you see and when you get glimpses, you have to blindly get up and go. And once you do that, he just comes alongside of you, ordering your steps. I still don't know where all of this is going to lead. I'm excited to kind of know, because, you know, I trust in him, and I know that all things work together for the good. Romans 8:28. So anyway, there is no comparison of your placement. No one can do it like you. Okay. And so, you know, they were talking about Mary. Sarah was talking about Mary, that, you know, God entrusted her with his son Jesus. And she thought, I mean, she knew that, you know, what she was told, that she was going to have a king, you know, that Jesus was going to be king and savior and Lord of Lords. But she had this vision that her son was going to be this king, not realizing that it was going to take death in order for him to be that king. So her expectations of what revelation she got was different in her mindset. It's like, so we may think, you know, God might give us a word and we start thinking how our perception, how it's going to be, and then he takes it in a different direction, and, you know, we don't see that direction. But ultimately, that is the direction that's going to cause it to evolve and become. So, you know, you might think, you know, it's devastation, your breaking point, and God takes breaking points to flip the script. He takes breaking points to change our lives. When we only have him and we have no one else, we rely totally on him. We put him first. He becomes a priority. He's Lord of our life. When we rely 100% dependently on him, that is when he is going to show you so much. That is when he is going to really do a mighty work in you, if you commit and make him a priority and put him in his proper place, which is first. You know, my kids were first. I mean, like, everybody, pretty much. My kid, my family, they were first, and that's the wrong place. And so you've got to get God in the proper place. So, let's see what else. Small beginnings. So things start small in life. You have to just go. And so you take what you have. And so God, you know, you think, okay, so how can I do this? Like, you know, build the business. So with me, start Create Education Training Center, which is like a word that I got. And I'm like, I don't have any money. Like, you know, Create Studios is an art studio that, you know, I get people coming, and, like, you know, we have people, but it's a ministry. It's not like this money making place. And so I own the building, and I'm thinking, okay, so I'm going to have to give up my rent, my renters. So they moved out. God kind of made that happen. Like, when he gave me the revelation to start the business, I'm like, you know, I can't do it, because I have renters, at that time, which was the Crafts of the Coal ice cream. They were there, and I wasn't going to make any business move out, because I really support small businesses, and I think I don't want to do anything. So, you know, God kind of said, well, ask them if you can share the space, because they were closed. And so I brought that concept to them, hey, can we share this space? And they said, we'll think about it. And that might happen. And then literally legit, I said, well, okay, God. So I did what you told me to do. And then within 2 days later, I think it was about 2 days, they came back and said, Karen, we've been thinking that we're going to go back to our trucks. Actually, no, they were going to let other management run it, but that fell through. Okay, so they thought that they were going to stay there, let other management run it, but on their end that fell through. And so then they had to come to me and say, hey, do you want your space back? Now, I was in awe, oh my gosh. Not that God can't do miracles. I already know he does miracles. I mean, he did a miracle on me. So that didn't surprise me, but it was like an aha, that's a God moment. So that's kind of confirmation that I was supposed to start the training center. So, okay. So he had said, free my people, use what you got. So I had a studio. I now have a space. And then in my head, I'm starting to rely on my understandings I can't afford to be down there. I'm not a nonprofit. And I just kept hearing, do it anyway. So, yesterday we got the signage up and we are running some things through there. And even though I'm not a nonprofit, the word that I have been given was run nonprofits through there. Education and training to make people aware. And I'm like, okay, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. Okay. But you are a social and emotional learning specialist. And your tribe of people, your team of people in which I have put you in, all of them have those titles. So you're the little composer. They're your conductors. And so that just made so much sense. I'm like, okay. So I'm the planter. I'm the one doing it, orchestrating it, I guess, for other people to fulfill that purpose. So when I got that revelation, I was like, oh, okay, I see it. But that still isn't bringing in money. So I'm thinking, okay, where's the money coming from? And so then the thing that got put in my head is your Crush It glass, you're going to create a bar, a creative glass bar that is open to the public on the weekends to walk in. And because the glass is the money maker at the studio, it's what keeps my studio open as my ministry. If I didn't have the glass in it, I couldn't survive there. I mean, I could, because I believe in God. When he puts a vision and in your heart, and he sees it to come about, then he's going to provide. And so I have no doubt that he's not going to provide for me in ways that I don't even know. So each day I'm seeing that. So yeah, we got our sign up. We should, I applied for the businesses. I turned the Create into LLC, and then I did some DBAs under that by hearing what he shared with me. So Crush It is the title of the bar, and Crush It kits come from that, where I can sell, worldwide, actually, if I want to. And so, he will make a way where there seems to be no way. You just can't listen to the voices. Okay, you got to open your eyes. You got to hear. So it's eyes, ears, mouth, all of that, all of our senses. We just got to shut it out, use them properly, and do that. So God orders your steps. And when you take the step, he's going to meet you there. But you got to take the step, guys. And you got to take that first step. You got to move. Okay. When you move, he's just gonna be right there, and he's gonna lead you to the direction that you need to go. And so I think that's what I have for you this morning is let God use the leftovers in your life. Nothing is wasted, and he can use that. And just open your eyes and start seeing who he has called you to be. What all has he shown you? What visions do you have? What dreams have you pushed down? You know, God is powerful. Like, he's all powerful. He can do anything. He is still into miracles. He makes a way where there is none. And he will move mountains with you. Okay? It does take faith. It takes blind faith. It takes faith like a child, just doing it, believing it. You know, when you're little, you believe anything you're told. And so when you dig into the word and you start believing it, you start doing it. Action is the key, guys. Head knowledge, nothing. Nothing unless you put it into action and slowly start making those action steps something big. So anyway, okay, so that's the word. Thank you. And I just pray, Lord, that you give people eyes to see. Lord, help them to reach down into your word. Help them to find out what purpose and plan you have for them, their lives. Help them to, sorry, help them to look to you, not to others. Help them to be validated by you, that only you are the person that they need to look to and put first in their lives, and to seek your will for them. And Lord, just protect them, bring people into their lives that will show them the way, or at least be supportive, be an advocate, give words of encouragement. And Lord, just help them to start believing again, help build their faith, help them to get up, help them to bring, get the courage and the strength to get up, Lord. So I just pray that you fill their hearts and minds with newness, with a renewed spirit, to be hopeful, to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel and they can make it, that you're there to cheer them on, just with open arms as they look down that long tunnel, that dark tunnel. I just see at the end with this like oval opening, you standing there with your arms wide open and this beam of sunshine behind you, and you're just cheering. In my mind, I'm thinking of the first steps that my son took when he was a little kid, and how he was on one side of the room and I was on the other, and he was beginning to walk, and we were cheering him on, like, you can do it, come on, just a little bit, just a baby step, come on, you got it. And then he did it, and he started walking, and that was with each of my children. And so that vision you just gave me is such a strong vision, because if you have children or grandchildren, you know that first step when you're a baby, you go from crawling to pulling up with all the strength that you have, to pulling up and then beginning to take the steps just like a baby. And once you keep walking and taking those steps, before too long, you're going to start running. And that's the way it is with Jesus, guys. That's the way it is. And so just pull yourself up, knowing that he's there waiting for you to run into his arms. And I hope you have a beautiful Friday. And thank you so much, God, for all of this that you've given me, the gifts, the revelations, the talents, even the pain. Yesterday in our prayer meeting, I actually praised you for the bad stuff. I would have never thought I would do that. But I can see the good and the bad, and how you have a plan and purpose. So help other people to look at their situations and to see you in them, because you are in our story and you've already walked ahead of us, and So thank you for everything, for who you are, for saving my soul, and for the place, the heaven that you've planned for us, and just having that fellowship and relationship. Jesus Christ's name, amen. All right, bye. Happy Friday. TGIF.